So Tobit's probably written late 3rd, early 2nd century. So probably written around the time, if it was the later one, Antiochus Epiphanes IV might have been ruling by then, but probably written before the desecration of the temple. Original language is Hebrew or Aramaic. We know that because of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is accepted by the Roman Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, and I should mention the Amish and Mennonites, because that's where we got the idea of using the verses in a wedding ceremony, because the Amish use it in a wedding ceremony. It may be a folk tale. It may be a moral tale. It may not meant to be taken literally, a parable. Don't know. So what's the premise? It's the story of a pious Jew living in Nineveh during the Assyrian occupation of northern Israel in the 7th century. And again, this is the Assyrians with the pointy cone head hats, not the Greek Seleucids. So that's who Tobit is. So there's a lot of fun in Tobit. So here's the story. Tobit goes blind from committing an impious act. Remember in the Old Testament, the premise of the Old Testament is that you're punished in this life for your sins. Old Testament doesn't really have a sense of a hell that you're cast into after you die. A woman named Sarah is possessed by a demon called Asmodeus. So if this sounds odd, remember the New Testament has several examples of demon possession, including the famous one where Christ asked the demon his name, and the demon says, "We are legion because we are many." So the New Testament has demon possession in it too. And this woman named Sarah is possessed by this demon, and the demon has killed 7 husbands or husbands-to-be of hers on their wedding night. So this woman keeps getting married, and then when their wedding night happens, this demon kills off her husband.
You'd think the third fiance would sort of...
You know how every family has things they kind of keep hushed up and they don't talk about a lot? They probably, when the 7th guy came along, they probably didn't say, "Good luck, Bob. You're number 7. As a result of the prayers of supplication from Sarah and Tobit, the angel Raphael is sent to heal both of them. So here we have an angel who's not mentioned in the New Testament. The only angels mentioned in the New Testament are Michael, Gabriel, Satan. That's it. So how come we sing hymns that talk about the angel Raphael, for example? Well, because it's in the Apocrypha. Angela.
What's the connection between Tobit and Sarah? They seem sort of...
Yeah. Sarah is about to marry Tobit's son.
Oh, okay.
I should have mentioned it.
He didn't want him to be number 8.
Right, exactly.
My boy.
So Raphael appears to kind of save the day. The son of Tobit teams up with Raphael, but not knowing he's with an angel. So they talk to each other, but Raphael appears as a human being. Tobit's son, and his name is Tobias, he marries Sarah. And so then, of course, the question is poor Tobias number 8? Is he killed by the demon? Tobias cast out the demon Asmodeus using a foul-smelling concoction made up of a fish liver and heart. And where did he get this idea? It's recommended by the angel Raphael. And that's where I think there's some humor here, because the demon isn't cast out because of some incantation or faith in God or whatever. Raphael tells him, okay, we're going to make this really foul-smelling concoction. And then you're going to smear it all over this demon when he appears, and believe me, he'll run away. And so he does this, and he smears it on the demon, and it says that the demon takes off to the recesses of Egypt to try to get away. It's wonderful stuff. And the father is also healed of his blindness using the same foul-smelling concoction.
Kind of sounds like an elixir guy standing up there holding the bottle.
Yeah,
Stuff gets rid of everything.
Cures it all.
So it actually has some humor. It actually has some humor in this. So what are the characteristics or what's the message? Well, just like in Job or in the Old Testament, the pious are eventually rewarded in this life. So Tobit, like Job, even though he's struck blind, he keeps his faith, and eventually he's rewarded by the angel appearing and resolving his blindness. It's interspersed by flashes of humor. It's the smell of the fish concoction which drives the demon to the remotest parts of Egypt. I just love it.
Drive everybody.
Sarah's father is a guy named Raguel. I think he makes spaghetti sauce. And he tells his servant to dig a grave for the young Tobias on the night of his wedding because of the possibility that he's going to be killed by the demon. So they've just had this wonderful wedding ceremony, and the father of the bride's out there digging a grave for the fiance or the new husband.
You know, since it lasted for days.
The wedding present.
When a maid discovers that Tobias survived the night, Raguel has the grave filled in for the son. So I think it's really cool. Tobit's a lot of fun. If you're only going to read 2 books of the Apocrypha, you just want to get a taste of what the Apocrypha is like. I would read Tobit because it's so fun, and I would read First Maccabees. If you're only going to pick 2. So, does Tobit have any relevance to Christianity? Well, not a whole lot, but maybe a little bit. Helps illuminate Jewish interest in angels and demons during the intertestamental period. You don't have a lot of reference to demons in the Old Testament. Are there any? And some commentators will claim that Satan doesn't even appear in the Old Testament. I don't agree with that, but some people will say that. So, Old Testament doesn't have much demons about it, in it. New Testament has a lot about demons in it, so where did this first start to appear? It starts to appear in the intertestamental period with our buddy Osmodeus. Angel Raphael is described as an archangel. This gets interesting, isn't it? So if you're in a bar, at a cocktail party, presidential reception sort of thing, and you're looking for something to chat about, bring up the topic of how many archangels are there. And you will get many different answers depending on the faith background of the person you're talking to. Because some people say, there's only one archangel, that's Michael. Other people say, well, there's 3 archangels. Some people say there's 2. There's Michael and Gabriel, the 2 that are mentioned in the New Testament. Some will say, well, there's 3. You forgot Satan to that list. So Satan was the head of all the angels until he fell from heaven. Well, now in the Apocrypha, now we have more than 3. And Raphael is mentioned as one of them. I am Raphael, one of the 7 angels who stand ready and enter before the glory of the Lord. So this is an angel that gets to see the Lord up in heaven. The beautiful words spoken by Tobias during the wedding ceremony are used by the Amish in modern day weddings and by my eldest daughter.